Welcome to Make Change Fun and Easy with your happiness expert, Samia Bano. This is the podcast to help change makers, coaches, trainers, and healers break your chains of fear so you can create the impact and income you desire with fun and ease. Please make sure you subscribe to enjoy every episode. This podcast is sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Hello, salam, shalom, namaste, sat shri akal, aloha, hola, ciao, bonjour, buna, and privyet. It's really good to be with you again, and we have a really cool guest with us, so I'm sure you'll be very happy you have joined us too. And our very cool guest today is Susan Bear, who is an energy healing practitioner. Welcome, Susan.
Hi, how are you doing today?
Doing fabulously and so happy you're with us. And Susan, I'm going to have you jump right in by telling us more about who you are and what you do.
Well, my name is Susan Bear. I am the founder of Bear Energy Healing, and I got into this several years ago when I was first diagnosed with severe rheumatoid arthritis. The cost of the medications was very upsetting and ongoing treatments. So I decided I wanted to find other ways to help heal myself. And so I started looking into different modalities and found some various methods of energy healing that really lit up with me. And then I was at a conference. You know, one of the things they say is to keep motivated and keep your thoughts where they need to be. And so I was at a motivational seminar, and, they do the high five, the neighbor beside you, the high five, the one on the other side, and the guy in front of you, and the guy behind you. The guy behind me was a really big guy, and I said, don't hit me hard, because I had the severe rheumatoid arthritis, and my shoulders were in disarray. So I told him not to hit me very hard. So anyway, he came up after me afterwards and said, here, you should come to my clinic. And so I went to the clinic and was surprised because that was my first experience with actual energy healing. And I was just amazed after signing up and going for 12 weeks. I looked around and decided that I wasn't the same person mentally or physically, and I decided I had to learn how to do it at that point. So that's when I first started, and that was in 2016.
Wow, that is so cool. Thank you for sharing that part of your journey. I think it's like so, there's so many of us in our community of this podcast, Make Change Fun and Easy. We're change makers, and I think this is something a lot of us have in common, that we have struggled with some kind of challenge or problem in our lives. And when we have been blessed with the solution for it, we don't just keep it to ourselves. We want to share it with everyone else. And that is so amazing.
Yes, it really is. Because now that I've been doing it and seeing people just remarkably change in front of my eyes, or change their aura, change their physical being from being treated, it's very rewarding to see people just literally change in front of my eyes.
Yes, I agree with you. I do a little bit of energy healing also. I say a little bit because it's not my main way of approaching people. I'm a happiness expert, so I have a primarily positive psychology approach to how I coach and train my clients, but I do also incorporate some energy healing work in the way that I work with my people. So it's a more holistic approach. So I am a little bit familiar with at least some forms of energy healing, but I would love to love to know more about you and the forms of energy healing that you particularly love to practice. Can you tell me more about, like, for you, what kind of energy healing do you do? How does it work? Hey, thanks for tuning into this episode. Hope you're getting value out of it. For your information, this episode has been sponsored by the Happiness 101 program. Are you a change maker, coach, trainer, or healer? Are chains of fear holding you back from making the impact and income you desire? Using a unique combination of positive psychology and the spiritual wisdom of our most effective change makers, the Happiness 101 program helps you break through your limiting beliefs and manifest the abundance and success you desire with fun and ease. Interested? Book a free Happiness 101 exploration call with me, your happiness expert, Samia Bano. Just use my online calendar link in the show notes. Now back to the show.
Great. Sure, I can tell you more about how it works, the different types of energy work that I do. I have found a couple that work beautifully together. As we know, everything is energy. Energy can either be positive or negative. You can't get rid of energy. It always is. So, but what you can do is change the form that it is in. So it can be stored from negative to positive, positive to negative. It just changes form. So what we do is we rearrange the energy in the body so that the energetic body will work with the nervous system and we'll make it so they work together instead of being out of alignment and stopping the energy from flowing. So I found two different methods. One is called BEST, which stands for Bioenergetic Synchronization Technique, which was created by a chiropractor in the 70s. And he actually did a lot of testing in his clinics. And then, because of his stature, he was able to scientifically prove why these theories worked. So that is the one that works with the 6 essentials, which we'll talk about more on that in a minute. The other that I use, best first, it works on getting the conscious and subconscious to work together, because that subconscious is always trying to defend you and make things so you basically are always fighting and fleeing, running and hiding. And that's because that's what we're designed to do. We're designed to survive. And that's what the subconscious does.
Yeah.
So what we do with getting the energy realigned is by getting the subconscious and conscious to work together so the body can stop fighting and fleeing, running and hiding, let it rest and relax so it can start to heal.
Yeah.
So then the other method is called pranic. And that is an ancient Chinese method of removing the negative energy from the aura and the chakras and then restoring it with positive energy. So I will do that on my sessions. Typically, I'll start with the pranic and then we'll move into the best. So they work beautifully together because you get the subconscious, conscious, the aura, and the chakras all cleaned together, and then they can all start to work in harmony together.
That is really cool. That is really cool. And just for people who may not be familiar with the terminology of aura and chakras, how do you understand that? Or how would you explain what those things are to people who are new to energy healing?
We all have a aura around us, and it's just like air. You cannot see it. It's just there. So we all have auras around us. Sometimes they get cloudy, dirty, so to speak. What we do is we clean it out. So the chakras, also, there's 7 basic chakras that we work through with pranic. But there are actually a lot more chakras. There's actually thousands of chakras all over your body, but the main ones are the crown chakra, which is the top of the head, which is your relationship with
Yeah.
your higher power. The third eye, which is the seeing your future. The throat, which is your speaking. Your heart, which is your heart, your love center. And then your solar plexus, which is how others affect you. Your sacral is how you affect others. And then your root chakras is how you get grounded.
Yeah.
So getting those all cleaned up and working together with the conscious and subconscious is quite amazing on how well they work together.
Indeed, indeed. And just to share, like, I one of my teachers that I've been learning energy healing from, the way he like an analogy that he makes about like what chakras are, at least, is he says, just like in our physical body, we have openings. So things can go in and come out, like openings. We have a mouth, we have nose, we have ears, we have other openings in our body. Indeed, even our skin has pores that things can go in and out of, right? And so just like that, there are openings for energy, just pure energy to come in and out of our body. And that's what the chakras are, that it's like pure like energy, when we think of it in a more pure energy form, coming in and out of our body through these different openings. And obviously they're non-physical. They don't, because it's all about the energy aspect of things. So even though they may be non-physical and that you can't physically see them, they're still there. Yeah. So cool. And what are like some of the things that can block up our chakras or make our aura cloudy?
Well, basically, like for instance, you're having a conversation with somebody, and you want to say something to them.
Yeah.
But something else happens that makes it so you can't say that. So basically, you, so to speak, swallow it. And then maybe you have an opportunity to tell them about it again later.
Yeah.
Something else happens that prevents it from coming. So you're swallowing it. So basically, you're clogging up your own throat chakra because you're not saying what you need to say. You're basically swallowing it, so it becomes stored energy there, and it actually makes it so that the energy cannot flow like it's supposed to. So what I like about Best is that there's like magnets in our bodies. And so basically what we use is the magnets in our bodies to get the energy to stop not flowing, and basically opening like a trap door to open it up to get it so it can flow again.
Yeah. So basically it's like things that are happening in our lives at a mental level, emotional level, maybe even a physical level. These also have an impact on our energy body, as it were, on the way that the energy flows and moves through our body. That's really so it's like all of these systems that make us up, they're actually connected and working together.
Yes.
Nice.
And the body will store things, different spots, like, that you have people say, oh, you're a pain in my back. Well, you really are becoming a pain in their back, and the energy gets stored in the pain in the lower back, and it becomes a pain in your back because literally you said and stored it there. So energy can go, you can actually control where you store it at, which is people say, oh, you're a pain in my neck, or you can feel the burden lift off your shoulders. It's crazy how the energy modalities, you can actually subconsciously control where you store that energy.
Right. I mean, again, because it's all these systems, the different aspects of ourselves, they're ultimately all connected. The mental, emotional, physical, and this energy aspect of us. So it makes sense to me. It makes sense to me what you're saying. So is there like a specific like kind of problem that's like the number one problem that you love to help your clients with?
I have helped a lot of people with physical complaints, but I think that the number one thing that I help people resolve is getting out of their own head, because they keep swallowing that information and not using it. So basically, that causes stress in the body. So I help people with stress. I think that's probably the number one. Is I make stress not necessary. You don't have to live in stress. Stress can be eliminated.
I love that. I love that. In fact, I know there's so much research out there now that has established that stress is like generally the underlying cause, one of the root causes of, I mean, we keep seeing different stats, like some research says 80% of all known diseases. Some research I've even seen where the numbers as high as 90%, 98% of all underlying diseases. Like when you look at root causes, stress.
Stress is the number one cause of illness and disease.
Yes.
It is. And I don't have any statistics to prove it, but we all hear it all the time. Stress causes disease. And unfortunately, it's just one of those things that if we can learn how to deal with stress, get the stress out of our lives, then we can start to heal ourselves, which is what everybody totally wants.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and it's my gosh. I mean, just for me, it's like so exciting to think and realize and know that by learning how I can sort of make stress unnecessary in my life, as it were, because I can manage it, I can control it, I can even prevent myself from getting so stressed in the first place. I can really help myself be disease free. So like 80%, 90% of the time. It's like amazing. So exciting.
Yes. And there are other things that I also strongly recommend because there are a lot of things that you can do on a daily basis to prevent stress. The body's designed to survive. So basically, you've got to be taking care of yourself. And people who come to me, I make them commit that they're going to start doing the 6 essentials, which is what you eat, what you drink, how you rest, how you exercise, what you breathe. And the number one is how you think. Meditation is key, and self-motivate and putting motivational things on a listing, starting out your day each day with a program, getting your body exercise, nourishing properly, drinking enough water, because what you put in your mouth goes to your belly and affects your belly. So if you don't have it, your belly is uncomfortable, it's going to also make your head feel uncomfortable, which also causes more stress. So it's a kind of a cycle that you have to take care of all those 6 essentials to keep your body functioning properly.
Yes, that makes sense. And again, it's like everything's connected. So for sure, making sure you're taking good care of your physical body is going to have an impact on your mental health, your emotional health, and again, your energy body.
Yes.
Nice. So wow, I love that. Can we maybe dig a little bit deeper into at least some of the 6 essentials, in terms of how you work, or any like specific aspects that you can share with us of, let's say, for example, I heard you say one of the 6 essentials is breathing. Can you tell me more about that? How do you work with breathing to eliminate?
Oh yes, breathing is a lovely thing. In one of the things that we do is called rhythmic breathing, which is building a box with your breath. So you inhale through the count of 4 through your nose, hold it in for the count of 4, blow out through your mouth for the count of 4, and hold it out for the count of 4. That's box breath. So anytime you're focusing on your breath, you're getting your mind out of where you're at, and your system goes into reevaluation. Okay, so I was stressed out about this, but now I'm focusing on my breath. I'll tell people, stop, breathe, focus on your breath. It is one of the number one things that will help get you out of that mindset that you can't do anything. Stop and breathe, focus on your breath, become present.
Yes. Yes. You remind me of the saying. I don't know if it's actually a very well-known saying. I actually read it in a book. Man, I'm blanking on the name of the book, but it doesn't matter. I remember the quote, I remember the message. And basically it said, if you can control your breath, you can control your life.
Exactly. Because you become present when you stop and focus on your breath.
Yes. And I mean, without breathing, you literally can't live. You literally, like,
you cannot live.
It's like without food, we can survive for potentially days or weeks. Without water, we can survive for at least a few days. But without breathing, we can't get beyond a few minutes, if that, And so to be able to control our breath, I mean, in some ways, even literally, it's like to be able to control our life.
Yes.
Yes.
So, and then the other things like eating, if you're eating a bunch of processed foods, you're eating a lot of sugar, drinking a lot of, I hate to say it, but alcohol, if you're not putting good things into your body, they're going to not make you feel good.
Right.
Like if you're not drinking enough water, and it's important what kind of water you drink. I see a lot of people go out, I've got my purified water. That's not necessarily the best form of water. But drinking water is very critical. You should be drinking at least half your body weight in ounces of water. So if I weigh 120, I should be drinking 60 ounces of water a day. And it needs to be pure water, not just purified. I use filtered water myself, or if I have to buy a bottle of water, I'll use spring water, not just purified. Purified, I can definitely tell a taste difference, and it does make an effect. Even if you can get your hands on well water, that is delicious.
Oh my gosh, you just made me think about when I used to live in the United Arab Emirates. There was this stretch of road. I mean, like when you were driving. So in the United Arab Emirates, as indicated by the name of the country, like United Arab Emirates. So Emirates are like states, So how we have the United States of America. And so, but only thing is, in the United Arab Emirates, the states or emirates are pretty small. And so you could actually, very easily be driving through 2-3 states just in the course of like one trip that you are making. And so anyway, the state, this particular, it was like part of the hilly area, and there's this one particular hill where at the top of the hill there was actually a mosque, and it was a very old mosque. I don't know how many hundreds of years ago that mosque was built. And I mean, wasn't being actively used, although they maintained the structure of it. But the really other interesting thing about that area where the mosque was that on the bottom of the hill where the mosque was, there was a well. And that had also been maintained in terms of making sure it was kept clean and all that. And you could actually draw water out of the well and drink it. And oh my gosh, It was
Oh,
like
yes.
such amazingly sweet and delicious water.
Yes. If you get a chance to drink well water, oh, yes, indeed, you will be pleased. And if you, there's a lot of different things that people put into their water to make their drinks more appetizing, or supplements that they have. I have found that when I use well water, that there is no comparison to any other form of water compared to well water. It just makes the delicious drink.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it does also matter like where the well is. I know, unfortunately, for example, in India, where I have also lived for the first 8 years or so of my life, one problem that we started having in terms of accessing well water was that the water table was getting depleted because of the industrial use. I mean, like a lot of factories and stuff were like cropping up in the area, and they were like sucking up so much of the water that like you had to keep like a lot of the wells that we had there for like decades, some even like centuries old, were like getting completely dry, and like you couldn't access the water through them anymore, and you had to keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper wells to try and access the groundwater. And then the other problem we started having also, because of all the industries that were abusing really the water system in the regions, was that they were like polluting so much, and the pollution started to seep into the ground and started polluting the groundwater. And so even when you were like getting the well water, it was like starting to make people sick. It was like a really sad situation.
Yeah, I don't know of very many wells. I think there's only one well in this whole Salt Lake Valley that you can get to and get fresh water. So yeah, well water is gone, but if you can get spring water if you need to, or use the water filters, it's critical to have the water. Again, kind of like almost like secondary to breath. If you don't have your breath, if you don't have your water, your body will survive, and that's why some people will get uncomfortable when they're not drinking enough water. They go, "Oh well, I don't have time to drink a lot of water because I have to work, and then I'm always in the restroom, and they get mad at me." But what happens when you start not having enough water is the body will take the water from elsewhere in the body, and that's why you get muscle cramps or headaches or eye pain or pain in your body, period, is because the body is taking the water from somewhere else because it needs it here. So it's very important that you make sure you're getting enough water, just like
Yeah.
they all work together.
Right. And I really appreciate your having given us a specific guide to gauge how much water we actually need, because like you mentioned, the gauge is half of your body weight in ounces, like approximately. Because like what that teaches me, like a very important lesson, is that depending on who you are, like in terms of your own body weight and body size, your watering needs will be different from some other person. Whereas in conventional wisdom, they're like, oh, just everyone drink 8 glasses of water.
Yeah, I'll drink some water. Yeah, I drink a lot of water, but you have to drink the proper amount.
Yes.
And some people go, well, then I'll flood my system. And you go, well, actually, when you start initiating the program and you get on it and start using proper dosages of water, your body will self-regulate so that when you go, it's more productive, and not that you have to go every 10 minutes. It becomes more productive.
Right. Yes, exactly. So I love that this idea of the body self-regulating. So give it a little bit of time to adjust. And yeah, I think that's actually one of the really remarkable things about our body, isn't it? That it's like so wonderfully self-healing.
Yes, and that's what's great is basically everybody has the ability to heal themselves, and that's what energy healing is. It's I help you facilitate to get it to activate to work for you, because we got these blockages going on, and what we do is with the magnets, and when I do it over the phone, I like to do a visual call where I actually will have people hold their own contact points, and I'll tell them exactly where to hold and what to do, so that they get that magnetic interference that goes into the body to create that interference to make the body stop fighting and fleeing, so it can rest and relax, so it can heal, which is what we all want.
Indeed, indeed. And I'm glad that you mentioned that this is work that you can do remotely with people.
Yes, I can do it. I prefer, Facebook Messenger, or I can do it on Zoom. So basically, I can get to anybody in the world if they have those. I haven't enrolled in WhatsApp because I've not had a lot of good luck with WhatsApp, but I do Zoom and Facebook Messenger calls, and I get success with those just as well.
Yes, yes, I love that. And for sure, I can also testify that energy healing works regardless of space and time. The form of energy healing I use, and it's certainly true for that, is Reiki healing. I do primarily Reiki, but also I've learned reconnective healing, and I also use reconnective healing. Just depending on what my heart guides me. I really just surrender now. I'm like, like these energies, they're intelligent, and so like you don't actually, the less you direct them, the better it is. So I'm like, like whether this person needs Reiki or they need reconnective, or they need some other kind of frequency of energy healing. It's like, I'm just here to be a channel.
Right.
Universe, you take care of this.
Because we all can heal ourselves. You can 100% heal yourself. You just need to know how to unlock all the keys to make it so that you can get in there to do it.
Exactly. I love it. Oh, that's amazing. So Susan, I'm sad to say we are sort of running out of time.
Okay.
For right now, but for sure we have a little bit more time in terms of, do you have any last thoughts that you would like to wrap us up with?
Well, I want to make sure that everybody can get in touch with me. My Facebook page is Bear Energy Healing, and that's BARE Energy Healing, and you'll see my face there. And then they can also email me, Susan@bearenergyhealing.com, and then we can get set up to get them started on an appointment. I can do, like you said, anywhere around the world. I do have a studio here in my home where I can actually do hands-on, and people like to come in hands-on, but I know it works remotely, and I can testify that I've got lots of testimonials of people who have been very happy with the progress of remote and live. So it works either way.
Yes. Ooh, I love that. And for my last reminder, I will just encourage everyone who's listening to please make sure you check the show notes, because we will drop Susan's contact info and her Facebook page link, etc., in there, so you can get in touch with her quickly, easily, and you will be reaching the right Susan.
Correct. Thank you.
So awesome. Thank you again so much, Susan, for taking this time to be with us today and sharing so much of your amazing experience and wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for reaching out too. I really do appreciate being offered the opportunity to talk about what I do, because I absolutely love watching people change. It's amazing. I have done some crazy good healing and amazing healing, and I'm always looking for those more miracles because I love to make miracles happen for everybody.
Ooh, I love that. Make more miracles happen.
Yes.
And yeah, so let's wrap up right there. Make more miracles happen until we connect next time. Yeah, I just wish you lots and lots of peace and joy.
Thank you. All right. Take care.